Hello and welcome to the Rogscast episode 5 today. It's just me and Felix because the other two are, I don't know what they're up to, but they're not here today. Um, I think maybe next episode we might get the long awaited return of Nick, so be ready for that one. But no, hello Felix, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, but very excited for Saturday.
I'm very excited as well. Okay. So obviously it's pretty obvious what we're doing around here these days. We're going to be recapping what occurred in the round of 16, and then we'll be moving on and doing our predictions for obviously the quarterfinals and maybe a little bit onwards because France got knocked out. I think we both had them winning, so we can kind of discuss slightly what went on there. But we're starting off with the first game, which was Denmark versus Wales, and the Welsh crashed and burnt in wherever they played. I don't know where that game was, but they definitely lost heavily there.
Amsterdam.
It wasn't, yeah, definitely. I think it was in Amsterdam. Okay, so I mean, did you watch the game? I certainly. Wales were just
Yeah,
Wales were really
I
poor.
don't think a 4-0 wasn't representative of how the game
No,
went.
no. Dolberg obviously opened the scoring with a lovely finish, a bit like it was this just a curling away, and then Wales were all right, but then Denmark's second goal,
Didn't they? I think they came close a couple of times. Did they hit the
yeah,
post or just
I think
had a
so.
couple shots saved?
Anyway, then
Okay.
Denmark like theoretically fouled. I think it was Kiefer Moore went up the other end, and was it Nico Williams who just gave them the goal by just trying to? His clearance went straight to Dolberg again, wasn't it?
Oh, what is it with Liverpool and producing right backs that can't defend? God,
Yeah, exactly. Nathaniel Klein, what are you doing, mate? Anyway, third goal was
they just lost their heads at the end of
what
Marla.
the third goal. It
Only
was
player in my fantasy who didn't um bottle it. Let's say.
was it a good finish?
Sold the defender. I think. I think he kind of
Oh,
fainted a bit and
I
just
remember now.
yeah,
Yeah, and then the
yeah.
fourth,
They fell apart. But
and then
I don't I don't think it was a red card for Harry Wilson if I remember
it was a bit
correctly.
harsh, but at the end of the day, it didn't
Yeah.
really matter. And then, of course, there was the fourth goal.
Was that the one
Um,
which got disallowed for offside?
yeah, and then they obviously allowed it because it was onside. But yeah, Mr. Barcelona, Braithwaite got his goal and Denmark cruised through. I'm not sure if they're going to be a
Bit of a
threat because
disappointing ending for Wales.
yeah, I'm not sure if Denmark are a massive threat. I guess we'll see what they do against
Czech Republic.
Czech
I,
Republic.
I still think that just like emotional toll will kind of shine through at some stage, be it in
Catch
the
up on them.
quarter or yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
because I think they're maybe still riding a bit of a high, maybe off the group game against Russia, maybe just like the do it for Ericsson kind of vibe. But I
Yeah.
don't know how long they can sustain that
Well,
because I know I had
yeah.
them as dark horses before the tournament, but yeah, we'll see how long they can keep this up, especially without their talisman.
Yeah, well, they definitely well, obviously they progressed. And then the next game, Wembley Stadium was a cracker. Italy versus Austria. My pre
It
my
had me a bit worried
pre-tournament
for a bit.
my
Well,
pre
not
my
worried, but
pre-tournament hot take. I thought when Arnautovic put them 1-0 up, I was buzzing, but obviously it got disallowed. But Austria, I thought they gave a good account of themselves. Honestly, I thought in the second half they were definitely the better team. But in the end, Italy's depth, being able to bring on players like Chiesa, I think
what a
Locatelli
finish,
came
by
off
the
the
way.
bench. What a finish! I mean, bosh, whip it. I mean, I think Cristiano Ronaldo would have been proud of that one, his teammate, and I think he said that after the game. But yeah, um,
It did concede though, did it? Italy did.
yeah, they finally conceded.
Finally, what was it? 12 games,
Yeah,
12 games later.
what was it? Kalaj's Zach or whatever his
Yeah.
name is. Kalaj.
First time they come up against a decent team, maybe.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a bit harsh to Switzerland, but you know, yeah. So Italy eventually went through. I can't.
That's that 31st game in a row. The 31st game in a row without losing,
Yeah,
which
I
is a record for them.
cannot put my head on who scored their second goal. Oh, it was
Pessina.
Pessina. It was Pessina. Yeah, 2 goals in a row for him, and he's on good form. It makes him almost, I'd say, undroppable by Mancini against Belgium, which we'll get on to. But the next game was Croatia Spain. No, it wasn't. That's really weird for me. It was Den. I don't know why I'm pretending I don't know which game it was because it was the game that I very correctly predicted last week when I said that the Czech Republic were going to beat the Netherlands 2-0. I even mentioned Patrick Schick, who got on the score sheet. But I mean, did you expect the Netherlands? Because I think deep down, even I thought they probably would have
I
come
mean,
through.
jury's out on whether you expected it. Let's be honest. But
You were the one preaching
sure.
that they weren't as good as people thought.
Benefit of the doubt.
You were the one
You
preaching
take the
that
credit for that.
they were
You take the credit
good.
there, but
It was a good
no, they
performance.
just didn't show up. Obviously, I mean, even in the first half, they did not really. They didn't ever get going, and then the Redford delict was.
Embarrassing.
I don't. It's a weird one because I don't know how intentional it was, but you have to send him off there.
Yeah, of course you do.
You absolutely have to send him off
Yeah,
there
no doubt.
because he's in on goal.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think alongside that, I think Donny Almalin had quite a big miss as well.
Oh my! After he tore that defense to pieces, and then I think he tried to be too clever trying to go around the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Who to be fair, he did very well to like not be fooled by that and stay composed, I guess, and get the ball at Malin's feet. But still,
Who is that GK?
Vachlik.
Of course it is. Yeah, I like a bit of Vachlik. He's a good player. Not seen much.
But yeah, I mean, he came out after the game and
apologized.
Kind of took responsibility, didn't he?
Yeah,
and obviously said the ball's gone.
Yeah, I reckon they'll get Koeman back. I reckon Barca will dump Koeman sometime.
I think De Boer, he's not a good man. He showed out. He's not a good manager.
Yeah, he's definitely not a good manager.
I think we'll get into it. We'll get into it later. But he's what I maybe thought Southgate was, which is like a dreadful manager in charge of a good group of players. Well, Southgate's decided to prove me wrong a bit there, but
Southgate's getting results. Yeah. Okay. So after that game,
like I would have had Netherlands as serious contenders if Koeman was still in charge.
Yeah, I think Koeman did a good job. I think that the next game was, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I've got this one right, Belgium-Portugal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think Portugal were extremely unlucky in this game. I know Torgan Hazard scored an absolute beauty, but I thought that Portugal were from start to finish the better team.
And a certain someone coming on second half.
Bruno Fernandes was great. I saw people. Some people were slandering him.
Am I going to say best player on the pitch? I think I am. Because Portugal were the better team and he was their best player.
I think Ruben Dias had a very good game, to be fair to him. But at the end of the day, Portugal lived to rue the mistakes made quite heavily by, I think, Diogo Jota. I think he really cost Portugal this tournament.
Diogo Jota and Fernando Santos.
I think what's going on with the Portugal?
They never really got like into their groove, I guess, in this tournament because, I mean, they beat Hungary 3-0 short, but all those goals are in the last 10 minutes, weren't they? And then obviously they went and lost to Germany, drew with France, and then lost to Belgium.
Yeah,
and I think that's got a lot to do with him not getting his team right, really. So by the time that he got a system that started to work, which only really, I guess, happened in the second half of the Belgium game, it was a bit too late, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because I think Belgium rode their luck a bit. Because I think did Portugal hit the woodwork a few times? I can't actually remember.
I can't quite remember. I know that
they hit the woodwork.
I know that João Felix had a very good couple of chances.
Yeah.
There was also one where he got fouled on the edge of the box and it didn't get given.
I mean,
but yeah, Portugal unlucky.
Speaking of Ruben Dias's good performance, he did miss a bit of a free header.
Oh, he had a very good.
I don't know if that's if there's a bit of a culture of doing that among Man City centre backs, but
yeah, maybe. But yeah, in the end, Belgium went through. I mean, you got to give credit to Belgium.
Yeah,
it was still good. Torgan Hazard's goal was beautiful.
You earned your luck realistically, and they did defend well.
Yeah, they were solid. Thomas Vermaelen was great for a 30 whatever old year he is. Their whole team was good defensively, and I guess they went through because of that. I think Belgium-Italy will be a good game. I'll tell you that right now. We'll get on to predictions later, but I think it'll be a good game of football.
Now, Monday the 28th of June, one of the greatest days of football ever. Was it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just blew my mind for a second. I was so confused. Croatia versus Spain started off. Wow.
I mean, that own goal.
Started off with
a crazy way to start off. Crazy day.
Absolutely crazy. I think Croatia equalised. Or did
so what? Croatia went 1-0 up, didn't they?
Oh, of course. Sorry,
it was weird. It was because in both games on that day, the underdog, I guess, went 1-0 up, then
conceded 3.
Favourites went 3-1, and then 2 late goals to make it 3-3.
But I'll tell you what, I thought that Croatia were very good late on in that game, and I thought they were unlucky to lose in extra time, but Spain in the end had that extra bit of quality. I'll tell you what, Ferran
Morata
Torres.
found his shoe boots. Good finish from him.
Yeah, and Ferran Torres has been good this tournament as well.
Well,
When he's played.
I think I saw a quote. I don't know if it was. I think it was Luis Enrique. He said he kind of his analogy was like that. Spain were like a champagne bottle ready to like pop or something. Like in terms of it's just like all the potential's there. It's just they're missing that like one like explosive moment. And I guess that's kind of come out in the past couple of games, scoring 5 in each.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they were struggling to score, and 10 goals in
Yeah.
2 games is just phenomenal. But yes,
I
Spain
mean,
went
even
through.
if it is extra time, that's still 8 goals in 2 games, which is more than
ridiculous.
more than most teams have managed in the whole tournament.
I mean, you got to give them credit. When putting everyone was giving them being rude about them, weren't they? For the
Did Morata? Did they miss a pen as well? I can't actually remember.
I don't think so.
Spain. Or was that in I guess that must have been in Slovakia game.
Yesterday,
No, yeah.
Okay, well, okay then. Moving on to the second game from that day. I mean, wow. I think we both had France winning the tournament, and what can I say?
What more do United midfields have to do to take their teams through?
Yeah,
Full
exactly.
best player on the pitch again, but credit to Switzerland. Seferovic decided to show up, and Mbappe didn't.
Yeah, 2 goals from Seferovic, 1 from Gavranovic, and an absolutely talismanic midfield performance from Granit Xhaka. I'm not gonna. I thought he was absolutely fabulous. I thought that he was great. I thought that he dictated the play. I thought, in terms of the midfield battle, I thought he had Pogba. Pogba going forward had a bit more for France, but in terms of just the way the dictation of the game was going, I thought Xhaka kind of had it. And then into extra time, it kind of progressed because Pogba was tired or whatever. But I mean, I think we need to talk about Paul Pogba's goal because that was an absolutely outrageous finish.
I mean, I guess it's because of how good Pogba's goal was, but that touch by Benzema for his first goal.
Oh, yes, stunning.
That was the technical ability to pull that off and then just lift over the keeper.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the make or break point for that game for me was when Pogba slipped Mbappe in extra time and he took it on his left foot.
Yeah, I mean, even earlier in the match, he'd slipped Mbappe in and Mbappe just put it wide. But
yeah, but I don't know. I think
that's a bit more.
You need to ask Kylian, but I don't understand why he went on his left foot there when he's right-footed. It might have been a bit of nerves because he missed the previous one
because
like that.
He wasn't super under pressure, I feel.
No, there
was a defender on him, obviously, but he had time to kind of shift onto a stronger foot, didn't he?
I think he should have scored that. And then, of course, once that happened, I was adamant. I was telling my mum, who I was watching it with, if Mbappe takes the penalty, he'll miss it. And eventually came down to Kylian Mbappe, and I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to miss. And eventually someone made a great save, and the World Cup champions went home. It's as simple as that. And I think that it's an incredible result for Switzerland. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time they won a knockout tie was 1964.
He was 54.
54, even longer. But I mean, wow, you got to credit.
What's happened? I think Pogba and Benzema are the only 2 French players who can come out of this tournament with their heads up, with their heads held high, I guess.
Yeah, I think France were underwhelming.
A lot of people were maybe getting a bit excited over. Well, okay, I'm going to point him out. N'Golo Conte. A lot of people are getting more than he played well in the Champions League. Maybe improved a bit in the Premier League. I think the Ballon d'Or shouts were a bit excessive, and I mean, after, let's be honest, his mediocre performances that he's putting in throughout the year. He's not the only French player, don't get me wrong, but he's just one I'm going to pick out as underperforming considering the standards he'd set for himself in the later parts of the club season. Yeah, for sure. I'd say he underwhelmed this tournament. And the French went out. I'm surprised. I'll have to revisit who I think is going to win it, but I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win it. And it was the team that played next. Yeah, it was the team that played next, right? We were the next game after France, right? Yeah. Yeah. England, Germany. It's coming home. It's coming. I mean, unbelievable.
I'm still almost in shock that we managed to beat the Germans in that game. I thought it was terrific.
But
I thought that the selection of the team was great by Gareth. I thought the five back worked well.
I don't know. I can't
truly
agree
believe
with
the
that.
five back worked well. I said before the game, I said last week that the lineup I would play, I said four back, but I had Sterling and Saka both in there if Sancho didn't play. And
I think
Sterling lived up. I thought Saka was good start. I'll agree with people who said that he dropped off, but I think that he still, I think it was still a solid performance. He caused a couple of problems. But at the end of the day, I think I like the fact that Southgate knows that some of his players are good spark plugs off the bench. I think Grealish should start.
I
I
think
think
yeah,
that's the
Grealish
one
can do that from
mistake.
the start of the game. That was the main reason. I mean, I was pessimistic at the start. I'm going to be honest, because the team we put out, I thought Grealish absolutely had to start. I
I
really
still
thought
think
he
he
had to
should.
start, and the fact that he didn't start, coupled with the fact we played not only a back five, well, if you want to call it a back three, go for it, but with Rice and Phillips as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because Germany, well, what I'd say Germany were on top for the first half, definitely. I think we grew
Sure.
into it as the game went on, but
Kane
Kane
should
had
have
to make a
scored.
couple of important
Well, I
saves.
mean, I think Kane should have scored on the brink of half time.
Yeah, it's just a dodgy touch. Just took it a bit too far away from
Harry
him.
Maguire had a few good header chances as well. I thought he had a great game, and he could have scored in the first half. That would have won me £400, but whatever, it's fine.
But yeah, I mean,
But
I said before the tournament, if we won our last 16 tie against the Group of Death team, I thought we'd get to the final.
and it
And
looks like we should. Do
admittedly,
now.
that's when we still had Spain and Netherlands on the other side of the draw, but it's looking even more likely now. It does look favourable, let's be honest.
It really does look favourable, especially with Sweden going out. I backed them over Ukraine. I thought they were the better side in that tie, which is the next game. But really quick, before we talk about that, going back to England, Raheem Sterling scored, and I said it last week. You can't drop the man who's scoring goals, even if he's not having the best tournament.
Yeah,
his performance
he is
picked up.
undroppable.
His performance picked up in the Germany game, because I think Sterling's performances made him droppable, but his goals made him undroppable.
Yeah,
He came in, he's been great. He was great. He was really good. He was running. He was direct. We were going up the left a bit more, which is why I thought Saka didn't have as good a game as he had last time, because Germany were clearly weaker up at Kimmich's right side, which surprised me a little bit. But both goals came from that side.
I think Sterling, he did still show a bit of an inclination to hold on to the ball a bit too long, which was quite annoying. And then, I mean, obviously we got quite lucky when Muller went through and missed. That was from a stray Sterling pass, but he did play well. I think if I'm thinking through that England side and I'm trying to think of who didn't play well, I'd say Trippier and Phillips. And I'm not going to say Saka, because
Saka was good.
He was good for the first 15 minutes, died down a bit, but he wasn't quiet enough where I'd put him on the same tier as Phillips and Trippier, who I just didn't really think contributed a lot at all.
I think his running just tires them out, because he's so athletic. He's direct, and it didn't work as well as it did against Czech Republic, because Germany are a bit of a more quality side. But Saka will grow into his performances, and even if he doesn't start, I think he'll definitely have a good impact off the bench in some of our remaining games. But I think Gareth is going to. I think Gareth
he definitely needs a few more minutes off the bench.
Jadon Sancho, Felix,
along with Marcus Rashford, but he does.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
I agree.
It's not the time and the place, but what a steal that is.
Yeah, we'll talk about that way later, and when we do like a transfer window recap or whatever. But
yeah, I will. I'm gonna be honest. I was quite worried when both are when Rice and Phillips. Well, obviously Rice was booked 5 minutes in, and then Phillips got a booking as well before half time. I was getting a bit worried. I was thinking, especially considering it's England versus Germany, which traditionally is a bit of a rivalry
game. Yeah,
I was getting worried that we could see a red card. I wanted one of them off at half time. Southgate didn't take them off, and especially with Rice, he definitely grew into it. And
I thought Hendo was quite good off the bench as well.
Yeah, he came on for like 5-10 minutes, but he was fine. I don't know why he kept both of them on that long, because
it's a risk.
No matter how well you're playing, I would have taken Phillips off, because I mean, as I say, I don't think he played well anyway. But as well as you're playing, it only takes one stray challenge to get you that second booking off the pitch and suspended for the next game. But
I think
we were maybe a couple of unnecessary risks, but very happy and on to Ukraine.
Yeah, Well, Ukraine Sweden was it? I didn't catch all of this game. I'm going to be honest with you, but I caught a little bit of it. Ukraine took the lead through. Was it Zinchenko scored, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, pulled it back through Forsberg's shot, which was heavily deflected, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was kind of a bit of a boring game, if you ask me. There was the
They
horror
got a red
challenge,
card in extra time,
or
Sweden.
quote unquote
It-
horror challenge. I don't think it was a red card, but in still images, it looks awful.
Yeah, it's just I don't like it when people use still images because I think you can manipulate so many
Yeah,
bits of footage and into like pictures, which make stuff
yeah,
look so much worse than it is.
yeah. It gives a poor representation of what's
Even
happened.
with angles, like you can make it look like it's going full on studs into the side of something. I'm not saying this is what happened here, but you can make it look like it's going studs into someone's leg, whereas it could just be like a glancing kind of thing where he's like
Yeah,
pulled
yeah,
out of it or not fully.
yeah.
And then obviously the last minute winner.
I mean,
I,
yeah,
I'm not gonna pretend I was completely focused on watching this game
yeah.
because
I only
like
watched
I
a
said,
little bit of it.
I think I said last time this game had the potential to be not necessarily a non-event, but I didn't think many people would be tuning into it, especially after an England win.
Especially in the stadium. There was barely anyone in Hampden. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a bit sad to see, but the Ukrainians marched on.
Probably too busy just sitting at home depressed after England didn't lose to Germany.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and Ukraine marched on to play us. But starting off, we start tomorrow. Switzerland versus Spain. Predictions, Felix. You can go first. What do you think is going to happen here in St. Petersburg Stadium?
As much as I'd like to see another surprise, but I would like to see another surprise. But I think Spain are really growing into this tournament.
Yeah.
They won't hit 5 again, but I'd say a 2, maybe a 3-1 Spain.
Yeah.
Okay. Spain don't really convince me defensively, but I think they have so much of the ball and they are starting to do something with the ball, like create chances as well. So I can't see past the Spain win here.
Yeah, well, my prediction for Spain versus Switzerland is going to be a 2-1 win to Spain. I think it'll be a tough game, and I think the problem is for Switzerland is going to be the lack of their captain, their talisman, Granit Xhaka. I think they will struggle to be as great in midfield. If Xherdan Shaqiri can have a good game, they can cause Spain some problems. Hence why I've got them scoring. Maybe a Seferovic goal. You never know. Gavranovic seems to have been quite good so far this tournament. He just looks sharp when he's been on the pitch, from what I've seen. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Spain will win that 1-2-1 in St. Petersburg, and they'll move on to play the winner of Belgium-Italy. Felix, I'm going to go first here. And for my Belgium-Italy prediction, I think that the Italians are going to win this one 2-0. I think it's going to be a calm, solid performance. I think Locatelli's going to get on the score sheet. Linked with Arsenal, I think he's going to go to Juventus, but he has been linked with Arsenal, so I'm going to mention that because that'd be absolutely epic. And then I think Ciro Immobile is going to get back in amongst the goals. I think that Italy will win that game.
Is KDB injured?
I think
has that been cleared up?
I'm pretty sure he is.
I mean, I don't think Hazard. Well, I don't think Eden Hazard's available, or not to start anyway. But yeah, I'm going to say an Italy win as well, but just about. I think they will concede again because Lukaku, he's used to playing against Italians, I guess now because he's been tearing up Serie A for a couple of years, and I think he could get a bit of joy against that defense. But depending on how depleted that side, if Belgium put out their side, and if De Bruyne is not involved, I think it might be a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think Italy will squeeze through, maybe 2-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Insigne to. He's not scored for a few games, has he?
No.
But yeah, he hasn't scored since the first week.
No.
Insigne and Immobile, yeah, 2, and then like I said, Lukaku maybe to get goal number. Okay. Would it be 4?
Yes.
I mean, I'd like a 4-3 Italy, just Lukaku hat trick, just to get that golden boot prediction on the road. But
would be beautiful.
But yeah, 2-1.
Yeah. Then the next game, Czech in Baku, Czech Republic versus Denmark. I think the Czech Republic are going to win this game. I think that they'll be on a massive high off of the back of the game against Holland. Netherlands, sorry. And I think that I backed them last time. I'm backing them again. This time it's going to be 3-1 to the Czech Republic. So you heard me, 3-1 to the Czech Republic. And there's going to be a couple of Patrick Schick goals because he is having some tournament. I think he's going to carry on his good form. Denmark have been good, but I think this is where they come unstuck. Maybe a Damsgaard goal, but I think at the end of the day, the Czechs are going to pull this one through. It's just a gut feeling.
I mean, I alluded to it earlier about I don't know when Denmark will burn out. What I will say is that sometimes what happens when you get a big shock like Czech Republic beating Netherlands, two things can happen. Obviously, either they ride that high and carry on that form, or that it's kind of like that was their cup final, if you will.
Yeah,
and I think that could potentially happen. So I'm gonna go for 2-1 to Denmark.
Okay.
Sure. Who plays with Denmark? Poulsen to score a Kjær goal, and Patrick Schick to sign off the tournament with a goal.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. And then the big one in the Stadio Olimpico, Rome, England, Ukraine. I only see this going one way. I mean, as I have stated earlier, it's coming home. I'm going to go 3-0 England. Nah, I'm going to go 3-0 England. I think that we will beat the Ukrainian people. I think that it will be it'll be a proper, like a very, very solid win. I think that Sterling will bag again. I think Kane will probably score again. I reckon now that he's popped his goal scoring cherry, to put it, I think that he will continue to bag at these Euros. And yeah, I think that we will win the game 3-0. I think it'll be quite comfortable. If it's not, well, damn it, but I think it will be. How about you?
Yeah. It's because with Ukraine, I don't think this is their best run in the Euros ever, I think. So I think it is kind of seen as a free hit for Ukraine because they've already surpassed expectations because they've just beat a Sweden side who everyone was saying, oh, this Sweden side, they're looking decent. So I don't think we'll destroy them. I think it'll just be a professional 2-0 performance. Like you said, Harry Kane, he's popped and he can't stop. A brace for him. And
Pringles of goal scorers.
Maybe Sancho off the back of joining the biggest club in England, he's going to get a couple of assists like the Park Up.
I doubt he'll play, and that's not me saying I don't rate Sancho. I just don't think Southgate's
going to come for 6 minutes to break down the Ukrainian defense, and he'll get 2 assists in the process.
So what's to come in the Manchester derby, putting Zinchenko on stilts, maybe? Well, I mean, I think that's probably all we have this week, Felix, because there's not much to say.
Yeah.
There are only 8 games. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening / watching. If you're watching on Spotify, you can let me know via my TikTok that you've watched it on Spotify. Because I'll post a clip on TikTok saying go watch it. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Bye, Felix.
Right, bye.